We're looking at a massive round of 16 clash at the 2026 World Cup. Mexico takes on England, right in the heart of Mexico City. Mexico comes into this match looking absolutely flawless. They swept their group stage with a perfect 9 points and didn't allow a single goal. England's path has been a grind. They labored through their group matches and gave up 2 goals along the way. If you're relying on the eye test, this feels completely one-sided. All the public sentiment is riding on Mexico's forward momentum. Betting markets are buying into that recent form and the narrative hype, pricing Mexico as a heavy favorite. But jumping on that train is a dangerous trap. To figure out what's actually going to happen, we ran a Monte Carlo simulation. We simulated this match 10,000 times, anchoring the model on historical ELO ratings. This chart shows the collision between public sentiment and our statistical model. While the hype favors Mexico, the math gives England a 58.2% probability of advancing. That advantage comes down to baseline quality. England is currently ranked 4th globally, while Mexico sits at number 9. So you have a clear choice to make. Do you back the short-term hot hand of the home team, or the long-term statistical gravity of the English squad? We need to strip away the emotional hype of the tournament and look at the tactical reality to find where the smart money belongs. Anyone building a fantasy lineup or placing a wager based purely on the media narrative is ignoring a massive, quantifiable edge. We do have to factor in the environment. Playing at altitude in front of a hostile Mexico City crowd takes a heavy physical and psychological toll. Looking at this slider, you can see how our model accounts for that home advantage. We've applied a 100-point ELO adjustment to Mexico, which closes the gap significantly. England is also dealing with severe vulnerabilities. Reece James, Jarell Quansah, and Declan Rice are all nursing injuries. This forces Thomas Tuchel into some uncomfortable defensive shuffling, likely pushing Ezri Konsa out wide and bringing John Stones into the center. The altitude and those defensive injuries give Mexico a legitimate boost, but the betting markets are reacting to those factors far past what the math actually supports. On the pitch, Mexico relies heavily on their physical presence and well-timed runs through central channels, with Julian Quiñones driving their attack. To counter that, expect England to drop into a deep, conservative defensive block to absorb the pressure. They are perfectly willing to yield possession if it means preserving space to hit back on high-leverage transition counters. Mexico's structure makes open play goals difficult to come by, which inadvertently plays right into an English strategy that relies on elite individual match winners rather than overall team cohesion. This pie chart breaks down the 90-minute regular time probabilities. England holds a narrow edge at 41.5%, while Mexico sits at 28.7%. But look at this massive slice here. There is a nearly 30% probability this match ends in a draw and goes to extra time. The model heavily favors a tight game, giving a 54.5% probability that the match finishes with under 2.5 goals. That low goal total is a direct result of Mexico's flawless group stage defense colliding with England's elite baseline rating. In fact, across all 10,000 runs, the single most frequent simulated scoreline is a 1-1 draw, occurring 16.2% of the time. Because these margins are so tight, placing standard moneyline bets on either team to win in regular time is incredibly risky. This bar chart maps out the individual goal scorer probabilities. You can see Harry Kane at 38.4. He carries a disproportionate amount of the expected value for the English attack. Moving to match discipline, the simulation projects an average of 4.2 yellow cards. We've weighted card intensity significantly higher for this matchup, factoring in the World Cup knockout stakes and the pressure of a hostile home crowd. The data points clearly to a grinding, highly physical war of attrition rather than a free-flowing shootout. If you're managing a DFS or Fantasy World Cup roster, your primary rule is to invest in premium focal points. Skip the team cohesion plays. Your ultimate premium target is Harry Kane. Even at $10.5 million, his unmatched goal probability justifies the price tag. For a secondary value target, look at Raúl Jiménez. At $7 million, he is the primary asset to own on the Mexican side. Warning tone. Whatever you do, strictly avoid English defensive assets. With their shaky backline under constant pressure, a clean sheet is highly improbable. Fantasy points in this match will be heavily concentrated on the few elite forwards capable of capitalizing on quick transition moments. On the final investment scorecard, the smartest structural bet is the under on 2.5 goals. Due to the physical environment, your top prop bet is over 4 yellow cards. And the biggest trap is the England money line inside 90 minutes. Remember, the single most likely outcome is a 1-1 draw that pushes this game deep into extra time. Do not let the manufactured narrative of an English crisis blind you to their baseline statistical gravity. Expect a grueling battle and trust the math.